podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hi, I'm Marion Franklin, a GB canoe slalom athlete.
Yeah, I'm Joe Clark. I am the Olympic champion from Rio 2016.
I'm Joe Fraser, Team GB gymnast.
Hey, my name's Emma Wilson. I'm a windsurfer. I'm really happy to be selected for Team GB for Paris 2024.
This is Anything But Footy, the Olympic and Paralympic podcast, covering the games all the time rather than once every 4 years. I'm Michael.
And I'm John, and we're en route to Paris 2024.
Coming up, 70 days to go and nearly 70 athletes confirmed for Team GB. We speak to the latest two, who are also medal hopes in one of my favourite sports, artistic swimming.
It's just crazy to think that, we're even aiming for that, having come 14th in Tokyo, and now we're going into the Olympics ranked second in the world.
From one pair in the pool to another pair on the volleyball court. Can the Bello brothers bag a place in Paris?
We didn't think it was going to be this close, but now we can really feel it. And we're just 3 tournaments away, and we're working really hard to try to qualify by points.
They could become as famous as the Brownlee brothers. Can we think of any other sporting siblings? I've got a few in mind.
Team GB could have more members by the end of this weekend. There's a brand new Olympic qualifying series starting in Shanghai.
And in our other news from the Games, we have triathlon, pentathlon, rowing, and with the Paralympics now little more than 100 days away, we've athletics, para-table tennis, wheelchair tennis, and para-canoe updates too. You can always stay in touch, see what we're about. Find us by searching Anything But Footy across all the social media platforms or through our website. And there's a terrific new blog on there all about the Olympics and its connection with music. You can read that at anythingbutfooty.com. Now, Team GB have named nearly 70 athletes who will compete at the Paris 2024 Olympics this summer. We have 14 from British sailing. We have 2 so far, but expect more from British triathlon. 4 slalom canoeists, 8 divers, and those are just the synchro pairs, so we will have some individual named divers as well. 6 in the marathon, 33 swimmers, and now numbers 68 and 69. We welcome to Team GB, Kate and Izzy. That's Kate Shortman and Izzy Thorpe. They've been confirmed as the latest. The pair are from Bristol and Bath, respectively, and they became the first ever British artistic swimmers to win a medal at the World Aquatics Championships earlier this year, and John has caught up with them.
It's confirmed today. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's just amazing to be selected for second Olympic Games, and the announcement's out today. So we're really happy, and just going into it, hoping we've got strong chance to do pretty well. We're training as hard as we can and taking each day as it comes.
History has already been made in Doha. You were the first ever British world medalists.
Yes, we were. It was a crazy experience, and I don't think we were quite expecting it. I mean, the Worlds before we placed 5th overall, and so we knew we were kind of heading in the right direction. As you know, the last Olympics we were ranked 14th, and then with the rule change, we've kind of been climbing the rankings quite well. And then to go to Doha, and I remember we were sat there, and the score came up after the prelim swim, and it said first. And we were the second last to swim, the penultimate, to the end. And we just looked at each other and we were like, oh, we're coming. Like, basically, we came second in the prelim swim. And we were just, it was a bit of a shock, but amazing, obviously. And then to come away with silver and bronze was just, incredible.
And that journey, you mentioned it's your second Olympics. If you'd have said 3 years ago when you came away from Tokyo, right, you now got a chance of a medal when you go to Paris.
I literally wouldn't have believed someone if they had said that to me, because I think that, especially after Tokyo, the rules were still the same, but in Tokyo and the following year, I think Kate and I were both feeling like we were training as hard as we could, but we weren't really seeing the results that we felt we deserved, and that's really hard as training every day if you're doing 9-10 hours of training every day for something that you don't feel like is getting the results it deserves. It's really hard to carry on like that, and I think we both kind of had moments of low points where we weren't really sure our place in the sport anymore. And I think for the rule change to happen at a perfect time, for both of us, and we just kind of, yeah, straight away you could see that the bias was kind of taken out of the sport, and we started climbing the rankings straight away. So yeah, it was really good for us, and we've kind of been going on a good trajectory ever since.
For people who are listening who don't know what those rule changes were, what was it exactly that has made the difference?
Yeah, so before you had 3 judges, and they would judge your execution, artistic impression, and difficulty of your routine. Now, with the new rules, they still judge execution and artistic impression, but you can declare your difficulty of the routine. So it's very similar to like diving and gymnastics, where you can declare how difficult kind of like your moves are. And so then you can go into the competition with, like, we go in with quite a strong high DD, one of the highest in the competition. And you can see kind of like before where you weren't getting those high difficulty scores, and now you see, oh, okay, I feel like it's given us more confidence, basically, that we can do the hard routines and we can pull them off and execute them well. It adds a little bit more risk into the sport for sure, but it mixes it all up a lot, and it's really exciting, I think, to watch and also to swim, a lot more than before, as the results are like chopping and changing all the time. So it's really exciting.
And you said it's benefited you. Has it benefited other nations as well? Has it made the sport actually a more worldwide sport?
Yeah, for sure. I think that a lot more countries, and actually just a lot more people everywhere, are going to be getting more involved, because it changes the results. So before, you kind of always had the same top 12. It would always kind of be the same. I mean, 1 or 2 might change here and there, but now it's drastically changed. So it's all to play for. Anyone could win the gold, depending on what happens on the day. So it's just who can kind of keep their head in the game for the whole competition. And it really shows how hard you've been training, which is really nice to see.
And Izzy, when you were in Doha, you won those medals. You came back to this country. What's the reception been like? Because, as I say, you created that history. It has changed. And I think I was at the Aquatic Centre in London when you guys performed in front of the swimming championships. And again, getting that recognition.
Yeah, it's really nice. I think that from not just artistic swimming, so not just like the younger girls in artistic swimming, but also from other aquatic disciplines, such as swimming or diving, or just other sports in general, getting to know artistic swimming more and making a big name for artistic swimming. So it creates like a bigger platform for girls and boys now to join in the sport. So yeah, obviously after Doha, I think that really like elevated the sport, and yeah, hopefully we continue to do that. Sorry, Kate's just joined us.
Oh, hello, Kate. Welcome. Congratulations. What's it like to be named finally?
The same as last time. That excitement and the adrenaline that it brings is just, yeah, it's crazy.
And it'll be very different, Kate, these championships in Paris, mainly because there'll be a crowd.
Yeah, we are so excited. Our family and friends will be there to cheer us on. So yeah, we can't wait to be there.
And tell us about the new Aquatic Centre in Paris, because you've had some success there already.
Yeah, so we just got back from the World Cup in Paris. It was a test event, and we won gold. So it was a great experience, and it was really nice to test out the venue and everything.
It's really nice to just get a feel for the water and the environment, and see the stage. The crowd was pretty full, I would say. Like, not, I don't think the same as it will be at the games, but it was quite full. So it's quite a nice way to get that buzz and the environment that is going to be like, and hopefully settle the nerves a little bit when we do come to compete at the games.
Okay, Izzy was telling me that things changed after the rule change, and if you'd have asked when we spoke after Tokyo, you wouldn't have thought you'd be in a position to win a medal in Paris. How confident are you can go and get a medal in Paris?
Oh, it's just crazy to think that, yeah, we're even aiming for that, having come 14th in Tokyo, and now we're going into the Olympics ranked 2nd in the world. So yeah, it's just an incredible jump that we've made, I guess, and we're not putting any pressure on it. Obviously, you can't think about the outcome. All you can do is think about the corrections that your coaches are giving you, think about what you can do to recover, eat well, fuel well, sleep good, and the rest will take care of itself.
When I Googled artistic swimming, it came up as water ballet. Is that a bit simple?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it than, I guess, if people are kind of viewing it as water ballet. Like, hopefully it's good because we make it look elegant and graceful like ballerinas, but in the water. But there's definitely a lot more going on under the surface, and like, yeah, it's very hard sport.
You two are now one of the most famous double acts in the UK. I've been googling these. Are you Ant and Dec? Are you Mel and Sue? Or are you Dick and Dom?
We're Kate and Izzy. We've had so many questions today saying that, and honestly, so many people ask us if we're twins. So many people say, "Are you related? Are you sisters?" Like, no.
But we've just spent so much time with each other that we've kind of morphed into one person. So a lot of our like mannerisms are the same. A lot of the outfits we wear are the same. Like the tattoo we got is the same. So, yeah.
And we had to ask the divers this when they were announced last week. Does it help that you're friends when you're synchronized together?
100%. I mean, just in general life, it's nice to do it with your friend, and it's like a sentimental thing as well, because we have seen each other's evolution just throughout the years, and we have literally shared our best and probably lowest moments together throughout our lives. We've seen that, we've come through it. So yeah, it's just a real full circle moment, and hopefully, yeah, we can do everyone proud at the games.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that it really helps just having someone there when it is harder times, and then also to elevate good times as well, just having someone who is there.
Final question for you, Kate. What's it like wearing the Team GB kit again?
Oh, it never gets old, honestly. Like, whenever I put it on, I just feel so proud, because I watched the older girls wearing the kit and I just looked up to them so much. And now, yeah, I feel like I've earned it. I've earned the right to wear it. And yeah, it never gets old.
And finally, Izzy, I think I met your boyfriend, Kieran, at the swimming championships. He was saying I think he'd done nearly a PB in the 400 meters and hadn't quite qualified, but he has now qualified. And he was so determined to come to Paris with you. What does that mean that you're both going to be there?
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. I think for him, yeah, he got a PB at the champs, and he was really pleased with that. And we've both been seeing each other work so hard this year that it's really nice just to kind of be on the same page with that, and that we're both going on the same journey. And yeah, it's really nice.
Well, we wish you all the best of luck. We look forward to seeing you in Paris, and thanks very much for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Izzy Thorpe and Kate Shortman. And as I said to them there, Michael, a famous double act. They were like, we're definitely not Ant and Dec. We're definitely not Mel and Sue. We are Kate and Izzy. It could become a brand, couldn't it? Kate and Izzy. They could,
absolutely right.
But in all seriousness, they could become really famous if they can get a medal, which they have as you heard, they have a really good chance of winning a medal because of the rule changes and because of the fact that they can now set the difficulty, like they explained with the diving, like the guys at diving. Tom Daly says this is how difficult it's going to be, and they mark it against that score. They have a chance of winning a medal, and it's great to see sports evolving and Britain getting into these kind of sports as well.
So our double act theme continues in this podcast. We'll catch up with the most famous brothers since the Brownlees and their hopes of reaching the Olympic Games in beach volleyball. We'll talk more about some famous sporting siblings. That's to come, but first on to our other news from the Games.
And world champion Kieran Riley and Olympic champion Charlotte Worthington can book their places at Paris 2024 in a new event this weekend. There, 2 of 5 British cycling BMX freestylers competing at Shanghai 2024. What's that, I hear you ask? Well, it's a new Olympic qualifier series, and it's across the urban sports. So like BMX freestyle, but also skateboarding, climbing and breaking. Now the cycling, the BMX competition, there's the top 6 male and females will bag a direct named ticket to the games. So if they win it if they're in the top 6, they will go to the games. End of conversation. So it's really an important weekend. Dylan Hesse, Jude Jones and Sasha Pardew are also in action. We've got climbers in action as well from GB Climbing in bouldering and lead. That's happening this weekend. We've got skateboarders, including, of course, Sky Brown from a British point of view in action as well. And well worth keeping an eye out our socials right across the weekend, because we're going to be across this. Breaking, skateboarding, sport climbing and BMX freestyle, all in action. And what's more is there's a second of these qualifiers in Budapest next month. It is a 4-day Olympics, not your 17 days, Michael, which I know you like, but a 4-day mini Olympics just for you.
Rowing news now. Emily Craig is back fit and ready to rejoin Imogen Grant in the lightweight women doubles sculls for the British women at the World Cup 2 event, which takes place in Lucerne. Craig missed the European Championship final in Hungary through illness. Her and Grant have been unbeaten during this slightly shortened Olympic cycle. Olivia Bates will return to the lightweight women's singles sculls, and Lucy Glover will be in action for the first time in the women's singles sculls. 48 British rowers. I think there'll be a big rowing team going to Paris this summer, including European and world champions, all in action in what performance director Louise Kingsley described as the last racing opportunity for our Olympic-class athletes before Paris. Racing, the regatta, May the 24th to the 26th. Again, keep across our socials for all the updates.
Not a bad haul at all for Taekwondo GB at the European Championships in Belgrade. The Olympic team came away with 6 medals. Bradley Sinden, now a double European champion after retaining his title. He won gold. So did Caden Cunningham, winning the European title for the first time. Double Olympic champion Jade Jones bagged a silver. Alia Powell, a silver. Rebecca Gowan and Phoenix Goodman also got bronzes. The para team won 3 medals. Amy Truesdale got gold, Matt Bush and Joe Lane bronze. So looking good for Taekwondo.
Now, we know that Alex Yee and Beth Potter are going to Paris, but still plenty of British places up for grabs in triathlon at the Olympics. And in the opening World Series event of the year in Yokohama, Kate Wall finished 10th and Vicky Holland finished 18th, former bronze medalist, of course, from Rio 2016, Vicky Holland in the women's elite race. In the men's elite race, Johnny Brownlee was 38th and Hugo Milner 39th. There was medal success for British triathlon, though, in the para events. Dave Ellis and Claire Cashmore won their respective events.
Well done to them. Jessica Varley of Great Britain was delighted with a silver medal at the 2024 Pentathlon World Cup in Sofia. Afterwards, she said she'd had a rocky couple of years, but she's now back on the podium and said that it's so competitive with all the British athletes having 2 World Cups this year that I had to come here, get a medal, and I can't believe I've done it. So Jessica Varley back on the podium ahead of the Paris Olympics, of course. Reigning British Olympic champion Kate French was 13th in Sofia.
Now, the Paralympics are just over 100 days away. Celebrations and countdowns continue in Paris all next week, and it comes as the World Para-Athletics Championships takes place in Japan. British Athletics only sending a team of 17. We told you that a couple of editions ago, focusing on those that could qualify for the Paralympics and those with more experience that the competition will benefit. People like Hannah Cockcroft, for example. Tokyo silver medalist Ali Smith and Zach Shaw have been chosen by their teammates as captain for the Great Britain and Northern Ireland team, which takes place between the 17th and the 25th of May 2024. And British Paralympic legend Richard Whitehead will be a future guest on the podcast. Looking forward to that as we count down to the Paralympics.
Yeah, and lots of Paralympics news to bring you up to date with, as Michael said, with literally 100 days to go. Britain's men retained the World Team Cup. That's the equivalent to the Davis Cup. It was their 4th title since 2015. They won it in Turkey after Paralympic champions Gordon Reid and Alfie Hewitt both won singles wheelchair tennis matches to wrap up a 2-0 victory over Spain.
Para table tennis now, and world number 1 Will Bailey and 14-year-old Bly Twomey both bound for Paris this summer. Won gold in the men's class 7 and the women's class 7 singles at the Slovenia Para Table Tennis Open. Megan Shackleton bagged a bronze in the women's class 4 ahead of the Paralympic qualifying competition, which takes place in Thailand later this month.
And finally, for now, Emma Wiggs MBE and Charlotte Henshaw MBE. Important to have that recognition. They won world titles again at the Paracanoe World Championships. Henshaw seeing off teammate Hope Gordon for 2nd place. British won 2 in that event. And Dave Phillipson also won silver and secured Britain's men's KL2 boat quota place. In other words, there is a place for Paralympics GB in that event at the Paralympic Games in Paris in 2024 this summer. Well done to Dave and the whole team.
And we now got to put honours attached to everybody that we mentioned, because I didn't say Will Bailey MBE, for example.
Well, maybe we should. We should give these people the recognition they deserve.
And I didn't say Alex Yee MBE or Johnny Brownlee MBE. We mentioned Jay Jones earlier.
But Catherine Granger always says to us, "Don't call me Dame." To be fair, so.
And Seb Coe said, didn't he, when we last did a Zoom with Seb Coe, we went, Lord Coe, and he went, I think we've known each other long enough now that we can drop the lordship, which I think was rather neat. This is Anything But Footy, the Olympic and Paralympic podcast. We're preparing for Paris, and so are Britain's beach volleyball hopes. Well, we hope. The Bello brothers. Are they going to the games? Stay with us.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
This is Anything But Footy. We're en route to Paris 2024.
And two British brothers hoping to follow in the sporting footsteps of the Charltons and the Brownlees. Javier and Joaquin Bello are looking to become the first British men to qualify for an Olympic Games in beach volleyball in Paris this summer. Yes, it will be under the shadow of the Eiffel Tower. It will be quite spectacular, I'm sure. Maybe even rivaling Horse Guards Parade, who knows? The Commonwealth Games bronze medalists are just 3 world ranking places away. They're in Nations Cup action this weekend in Hamburg. Joaquin has had quite the week because he's also just qualified as a doctor after 6 years.
Yeah, so I'm Javier and I'm Joaquin. We're the Bello brothers and we play beach volleyball for England.
And Commonwealth Games bronze medalists, the first ever for England as well. And now the dreams of the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, not just dreams. Hopefully, it's more of an objective, and I think people are really jumping on board with us, and there's a lot of people behind us, a support team and fans and people following us. So it's really become a reality. It was originally our plan was to qualify for the LA Olympics because of the nature of our sport, the peak age and the resources that we need to qualify. But because we've overperformed and exceeded the expectations that we had in the last year and a half, we really have a chance to qualify now for Paris, which is really crazy. But we're doing everything we can and everything we can do to make it happen.
Joaquin, you have to be in the top 17 in the world to qualify, and you're currently 23rd. That is touching distance.
That's right. And I mean, if you take out the third teams from each country, because only 2 teams per country can go to Olympics, we're actually just 3 spots away. So we're even closer. And I feel like a year ago we didn't think it was going to be this close, but now we can really feel it. And we're just 3 tournaments away, and we're working really hard to try to qualify by points.
And a huge weekend to come with the Nations Cup in Hamburg. Now, I've been looking at this. You're in Pool C against Germany, Estonia, Luxembourg, Slovenia, Cyprus, and Moldova. How easy is that going to be?
Well, it's never easy in our sport, and especially now because it's become so competitive. You know, so many countries, so many teams are having fully funded and professional programs, training every day. So it's really harder than ever. But on paper, we are chances of winning this round and qualifying for the final, and that's our objective. I think Germany is obviously the favorites because they're the highest ranked, but also the host country, which makes a difference when you're playing in their home. But other than that, we're confident and we think we can do it.
And for the final, there's only 12 teams, and the teams that have already qualified by ranking points can't play. So if we don't jump up 3 spots in the next 4 weeks, then we will be one of the top teams in Europe. We'll be the top team in Europe, so we would be the favorites, really. So we have really great chances to qualify.
So this is the Nations Cup as a bit of a backup to your world ranking, yeah?
Yeah, it's just a second qualifying route that goes through the continents, where a team that has maybe just missed out on the points is usually able to pick it up in that route. But it's also very difficult because it's only the winner of the entire tournament event that goes to the Olympics. And people that are in our sport, they know how difficult it is to not just perform well in 1, 2, or 3 matches, but over 3 or 4 days against multiple teams, playing multiple matches a day, to come out the winner of that is not so easy. And we know that were we to make the final, we would need to prepare very, very well to perform. Winning any tournament is very difficult. If you just add up if you multiply over the probabilities of winning each game, in the end, it's really, really difficult. And with 12 teams in the final, it is very open.
And we mentioned earlier about you doing this against fully funded teams because you guys are not. And I think, Joaquin, you're training to be a doctor and have been working this morning as well.
Yes. Well, actually, I have great news. Today was my last day, so I have finally qualified as a doctor after 6 years. Incredible news, and I'm very happy. And now this means that we can fully dedicate ourselves to beach volleyball. I've decided to take time out from medicine, put it on hold, because I want to go to the Olympic Games, and we're going to do this full time.
I was going to ask, what's harder, training to be a doctor or getting to the Olympics?
Honestly, getting to the Olympics, because I mean, so far I've managed to be a doctor, and the Olympics are still 3 spots away, so we still have to work that extra bit harder.
Javier, what does it mean to have your brother next to you and knowing as well that he's got this amazing career that he'll go back to eventually as well?
No, yeah, it's amazing to have him being able to take on both responsibilities so well. I don't think anyone could do it. I think it speaks to volumes about him and his character and his commitment to both responsibilities. I think it's amazing that he's doing it. We're also obviously supporting him as much as we can logistically, and me taking on responsibility in areas like in our media and sponsorship outreach. So we've made it work this far, and we're just really proud of him and really happy that he's now able to dedicate himself full time to what we're doing every day here, which is training and competing. And then my brother is also doing a master's at King, so we take education very seriously. It's not just me in the family; it's also him.
And it's a family affair as well, because I remember when we met before Birmingham, I think your dad was your coach.
Yeah, so our dad is coaching us. He's been coaching us since we were 6 years old, and he's a teacher, so he takes all the time that he has outside of work to coach us 6 days a week, which is a really, really big commitment from him. And then we have our mum, who's very, very important in logistics and admin and so many things that she does behind the scenes. And then we have a little brother as well, funnily enough, who's also a really good player. He trains with us. He's our training partner. He's here every day as well. So really, the only reason we're here is because of those 3 people, and obviously others as well, but primarily, our family and our family support.
And you mentioned earlier about Paris and the fact that it's an opportunity for you that you didn't think would come along. But what would it mean for you to be at the Olympics and get that Team GB kit on?
I mean, I can tell you that there's no words that will adequately describe it, but it would be amazing. And it's not just for us. The biggest thing would be, our family and the people that have put in so much work for so long, every day, with no incentive other than to support us, to help us realize our dream. For those people to be able to come with us, to be there at the Olympics, I think it would just be so special. And I mean, our parents would be crying from the moment we qualify to the moment that it's over, maybe even for a bit of time afterwards as well, I can tell you.
And we've had some great sporting brothers in this country. From a football point of view, the Charlton brothers, who won the World Cup in '66, the Brownlee brothers from an Olympic point of view. You've got history to match up with and keep up with.
For sure, and I think that's we really identify with definitely the Brownlee brothers, and we hope that people kind of see those similarities in our story as well. And it would be really an amazing moment for us to be able to share in that journey together, like they did before us as well.
2 more questions for me. Firstly, the iconic Eiffel Tower venue. Does sport get any better than playing at the Eiffel Tower?
No, I mean, first of all, the sport, it doesn't get any better than playing at the Olympics. It's the most important competition. It's the dream of any beach volleyball athlete. And then the stadium in the Eiffel Tower is incredible. I've seen the pictures. It just looks amazing. It's the best venue of the Olympic Games in my very biased opinion. And it's going to be just incredible. We really, really want to be there.
And is beach volleyball the most glamorous sport in the Olympics? End of.
I mean, beach volleyball really takes a spotlight at every Olympics, and it helps that, the venues that have that it's had in the last few Olympics have been incredible. I mean, Horse Guards Parade obviously was insane. Rio 2016, Copacabana. I remember watching that, the final in the rain, iconic, really. But I think this Paris venue is really, really incredible as well. So to be there, I think the atmosphere will be incredible. We're one of the few sports that has that whole entertainment aspect to it, with the music, the dancing atmosphere. The fans are very engaged. I think it might be the best sport in the Olympics this year.
Well, we wish you all the best of luck. Thank you so much for talking to TalkSport and Anything But Footy. Much appreciated.
Thanks, John. Thank you.
Javier and Joaquin Bello, Nations Cup this weekend, and that deadline to be higher up the world ranking is June 10th. So good luck to them. And what was really nice, Michael, is I caught up with them, as you heard, and they were like, we remember you from Birmingham. They won a bronze medal, as we heard there, at Birmingham 2022, and they remember our coverage with Brum's the Word, which I still think was a great name for a podcast. But they were like, we remember you, but we don't remember you. And they pointed at me, and I was like, oh no, you must have spoken to Michael. I was like, we're never seen in the same place, unlike the Bello brothers who were on court together.
I first met them, I think, at the Year to Go event.
Yes, that's right. Mid-COVID.
It was outdoors, and they bought, obviously the venue that subsequently became the 3x3 basketball and beach volleyball venue, which at that point was still very much just a bit of wasteland in the centre of Birmingham. There was an outdoor event there where they set up some beach volleyball and some 3x3 basketball, and I went along to that and met them there for the first time, and got to know them a little bit over the course of that year, and it was fantastic then to catch up with them and actually see them win their medal in Birmingham. So sporting brothers then, this is a conversation. So we've mentioned the Brownlees, we've mentioned the Charltons, we've mentioned the Bellows. I've got some sporting brothers I can't believe you haven't mentioned yet.
Okay, well, I apologise. To be fair, I do think Bobby and Jack Charlton and Alistair and Johnny Brownlee are probably the biggest sporting brothers out there. But,
okay, let me throw a couple at you. Okay. I can't believe you haven't mentioned these. Double Olympic gold medalist Andy Murray and brother Jamie Murray.
Good point, well made.
How have you missed those?
How have I? I'm embarrassed. Should we just stop the podcast now and go, this person knows nothing about Olympic sport?
I can't believe of all the sporting brothers, you'd miss them. And I've had that in my locker, if you like, throughout the whole of this recording. Desperate to get it in before you mentioned it.
Seriously, how have I forgotten that? Oh dear, that's really bad. Really bad.
As brothers go, they've had a bit of sporting success, shall we say?
Just a little bit, yeah. And an Olympic gold for Andy, well, 2, and a bronze. So, and they played together.
Silver. It was a silver. Yeah, with Laura Robson.
They played together. Oh, that's really bad. I'm just have to stop now. Can I get off?
On the wider point of sporting siblings, Klitschko brothers, Serena and Venus Williams. Yeah. Again, a lot of Olympic medals between those.
I was staying away from sisters, to be fair, because that is a slightly different category.
Okay.
I'm going on brothers. I appreciate siblings could be in there. But I'm going down the brothers route.
Okay, Rory and Tony Underwood.
Yes. Phil and Gary Neville.
But we are anything but footy.
I
will give you that one.
And you also came up with non-British ones as well, didn't you? Which are huge to me because I'm huge fans of them. And they would be the
Ingebrigtsens, and the Borley brothers.
Yeah.
So
on the track in the athletics, absolutely.
Yeah. So hopefully, be seeing the Ingebrigtsens and the Borley brothers maybe in the summer as well. So there's quite a few sporting brothers, and
they've competed at the same games because, as you say, obviously the Brownlees did.
Yeah.
So did Andy and Jamie.
Yep, they were both in Rio, weren't they?
Yeah. So it'd be great if the Bello. I mean, we talked about it earlier with the artistic swimming. It would be great if we could get a qualified team into beach volleyball, because you mentioned that venue and they talked about it. It's the most glamorous sport in the world out there, isn't it? The venues that they have, the Copacabana Beach, for example.
I mean, I always
in the rain.
Terrific memories of going and watching beach volley on the Copacabana, and it was you know, because you were there and you were sat next to me for a lot of it, how relentless and I know people who maybe listen that haven't been to an Olympic Games will have very, very tiny violins out for us now. But it's hard work, to go and cover an Olympic Games for radio, as you and I have done, especially when you're the only representative of your radio station or radio network there, and you're trying to get across what's essentially 30 world championships all happening simultaneously. You're trying to cover 300 plus British athletes all taking part in competition, many at the same time.
The violins are still going by
from London, don't we? That medals can be won in canoeing and shooting at the exact same moment. It's impossible to be at two places, so you try and dash between them. So I can remember very late at night, because beach volleyball in Rio used to go on to midnight, because it was basically a nightclub with some Olympic sport taking place in the middle of it on Copacabana Beach. And I remember very late at night, one of our colleagues, Richard Newman, said, we should go and watch a bit of the beach volleyball. It's the medal matches tonight. And I was like, it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm super tired. I've got to be up really early in the morning. He's like, you're in Brazil, you're in Rio, you're on the Copacabana. You will regret not going if you don't go. You've got a chance to go. And I went. Like I said, absolutely fantastic. It's like it was like a nightclub on the beach with the music and the light show. The staging of it was fantastic. London did a brilliant job with it. Paris is going to be pretty spectacular as well.
My wife said, though, that they need to improve the area around the Eiffel Tower, because when we went there last year, she didn't like it. She was like, "It's awful, it's dreadful." I was like, "I think they might have it covered. I think they might be setting it up slightly differently." But the pictures look amazing of what it's going to be like. So, as you say, it's going to be an amazing venue, and fingers crossed the Bello brothers can get there. They need to keep their world ranking moving up. And also this Nations Cup, if they can progress to the finals, there's a route there as well, if they don't make it on the ranking. Fingers crossed for them all.
And then qualification as a doctor at the same time as well.
Unbelievable.
High achievers.
Yes.
You can always find us, Anything But Footy, across all the social media platforms. You can read our latest blogs, and you can also see the 2024 sporting calendar at our website, anythingbutfooty.com. There's a great blog on there at the moment about the Olympics and music. And if you'd like to hear that Olympic music, then search for Anything But Footy on Spotify, because we put a Spotify Olympics music playlist together. I'm blogging currently, and you'll be able to read it soon, on who I think will be the Team GB flag bearers for the Paris Olympic Games. So do stay with us, as we are en route to Paris 2024 and the Olympics and the Paralympics.
Sports Social Podcast Network.